in case. Every single time I've been recording to the computer this last week, my laptop has been crashing. I don't know. You didn't make it to the client fast track event. But my laptop literally crashed. Like everyone came in the room and my laptop crashed. I was like, this is a disaster. Anyway, we are live. Thank you everyone. Sorry, that was just a random chit chat that we were having. Thank you so much for joining us live. I have the wonderful privilege of interviewing one of my wonderful clients, Lorna. She's with us today, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for being here because I know that a lot of people will be able to resonate with your story, Lorna. And so I'd really love to just share a couple of little things of like where you were at, and the things that you were struggling with, and of course the amazing, incredible wins that you are seeing today. And we're not even at the end of your program yet. And I was like, I need to just get you on a video because your story is just beautiful and I love to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining. This is Lorna. And in the last few months, I think it's fair to say that you've probably gone from lifelong dieting and restriction,
Right.
to food freedom, of
Yes.
course, lowered cholesterol,
Yes.
lowering body weight, and
Yeah.
thriving with whole food plant-based diet lifestyle, which is
Hmm.
totally different as well. So we're going to talk about kind of some of the things that were most helpful for you in getting you to where you are now, and maybe share some top tips with everyone. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so before we start, I'd love for you to just like give us a sense of what it was like before, like what was going on for you before you jumped into the program.
So this is a long story, but
Go ahead, take as long as
my
you want.
so my first experience with weight loss, I was 14 years old and went to Weight Watchers. I went with my mother, and then she was my support. But then I was left to my own devices when I visited family that same year, and I gained back 20 pounds within 2 weeks. Um, um, and so I was back to my old habits. And then in my 20s, I started losing weight loss drugs. And I looked great. I could wear a bikini, but I couldn't sustain that weight loss.
Hmm.
So during my 40s and 50s, I went up to 235 pounds. I joined Weight Watchers numerous times and I never kept the weight off. And eventually, when I rejoined, I didn't even lose the weight at all. So in my 50s, I joined a medical weight loss plan, which is no longer in business. And the process was you ate bars 5 times a day and maybe one meal with no carbs. And the
I
carbs
wonder
were,
why it's not in business anymore.
yeah, yeah. And those carbs were beets. I craved beets or peas. So those had, according to them, was too many carbs. I did lose 65 pounds, but I was hungry all the time. I was never satisfied.
Hmm.
I kept that off for a while because I bought all their bars before they went out of business. But then I was up again to 200 pounds.
Hmm.
So earlier this year, 2024, I went on a medically supervised weight loss program, which had frightening, frightening side effects. As a result, I went to the emergency room. I had an MRI and CAT scan, and the photos clearly showed I had plaque in my arteries. But that wasn't the reason why I was in the emergency room. So along the way, several people whom I dearly trust told me about plant-based foods. I heard about vegetarian diets, but never plant-based foods. And that's when I started to listen because I really wanted to live my best life. Long story short, I signed up with you after conversations with a very good friend who raved about you. I'm,
Yes.
yep, 70 years old now, so I'm starting fresh. And this is the first time in my life I'm eating properly. I'm listening to my hunger, my fullness, feeling satisfied, and I'm not hungry or thinking about food all day long.
I love
I
that. I'm good. Can I pause you there?
Yes, yes.
Can I pause you there? I
Yeah,
want to really, really dive into like everything that's changed for you in just a second. Do you mind if I interrupt?
really. Go ahead.
I just want to clarify and just recap the things that you have tried before. And I'd really, really love to just ask a couple of questions, just like what your experiences were with those. So actually a lot of information that you just told us today, you haven't told me. So
Well, you're
some of
supposed
that
to
I
be
was
a
like,
mind reader. You're a mind reader. You should know.
but I was like, no way. Like I was watching you for the first time. So, okay, so from a very, very young age, from 14 years, was it that you went to Weight Watchers with your mum?
Yep.
And it seems like all of these systems, they worked for a short period of time, but was there like a recurring theme with all of them in terms of like the effort, the feeling, the energy?
Yeah, well, with Weight Watchers, it was a point system, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't eating properly. My points, I love carbs and sweets, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe I would eat sugar-free items. So I was never ever satisfied, and usually going over the po points because I was hungry or
Mm-hmm.
because I had what I think looking back, probably too much sugar and craved more sugar. Yeah.
Okay, so with Weight Watchers, it was very, it wasn't really flexible to help you I'm trying to kind of summarize this without sounding too biased because everyone here knows knows my opinion on Weight Watchers, but I really want to take a neutral perspective here. Um, did it feel like an approach that understood you as a person?
Um, it was more of a global, they were preaching, they preached to the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I knew what my plate was supposed to look like at Thanksgiving and all those, but I didn't get that individual approach. And there was a time when my father died and I was in chaos and they were saying, oh, and they said, well, will but you got to get back on. You got to keep on going, but it was a difficult time and no one really understood. I felt like I was left to my own devices and I felt ashamed because I couldn't manage that.
Mm,
Does
I'm
that
really
make sense?
Yeah, of course. That's it's one of the devastating things that I do hear quite a lot, probably where my vendetta comes from. Just there's a lot of shame and judgment, embarrassment and humiliation. These are the words that typically come up when I speak to people about Weight Watchers specifically. But tell me about the other programs that you used. So the next one was diet pills, was that right?
Yep. Yep. So
Okay.
that was in the late 60s, probably late 60s, right? So there was a lot of medically and non-medical diet pills out there.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that was a flight attendant and could get pills in other countries that weren't available to me here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And boy, I was hyper. I looked good, my bikini fit, but that was it.
Mm. So do you feel like it helped address the underlying issues with your connection with food and relationship to food?
Well, I didn't want to eat, but then I crashed.
Mm-hmm.
I crashed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Weight Watchers, tired, crashing, not feeling good. Diet
Right.
pills, kind of feeling good, quick
Mhm.
results, but really low energy.
Right.
And the next one?
Then I went on it was actually called MetaFast. It was a medical weight loss
Mm-hmm.
plan that kind of like, I don't know, where you mostly just eat bars, you buy their bars,
Mm-hmm.
and quite expensive to buy. But and I stuck with their plan. I was determined I wasn't going to be 235 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I managed a large group. There was like 400 people that I didn't directly manage, but were kind of, they saw me every day and I didn't want to be this fat lady. And so I went down 170 pounds
Mm-hmm.
and I felt good there.
Okay.
I'm very large boned. I have bigger hands than my husband, give you an example.
Okay, so you did drop some weight. So can you tell me like what the difference between that and like this program is? So if you were dropping weight then, like
Yeah.
obviously we don't do bars and supplements, but in terms of, I don't know where I'm going with this, in terms of like motivation, is there any difference between that one and this one?
Well, I'm motivated in them both. Um, but with Metafast, I was constantly hungry, hungry, hungry. Couldn't wait for the next bar.
Mm,
Um, Drinking water wasn't part of the plan. Where in working with you, I went from 0 to 100 with water, and I'm learning to like it. It's still not my
yeah.
thing,
You're
but
smashing it. You're smashing it.
yeah,
Yeah, well, okay. So on that note, everything's like, or I say everything, but so many things have shifted.
right.
So many things have shifted, including the fact that you message me and say, I'm not craving sweet foods anymore.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not craving sweet foods.
Yeah, yeah. So when I was on Metafast, we would go on a trip and they'd have sugar-free candy. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't wait to buy that. But
Mm-hmm.
here with working with you, I don't want it. I really, really don't want it. I feel satiated. I'm eating things I've never thought I would eat.
Mm-hmm.
When my friend told me that she eats half a can of beans a day, I thought, oh my Lord, I couldn't do that. Guess what I'm doing?
Now
And
look at you, you're taking your
I
beans
like
camping.
them. Yeah. I never liked beans.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so now everything's totally shifted. You're not craving those sweet foods, not even just like desiring them.
Right.
You're using your own plans to go on
Yeah.
holiday and create some success. So talk to us about, I know this is the part that you've been looking forward to. So talk to us about what's going on now. Like what's changed for you?
Um, well, my eating habits, definitely. My husband and I have been retired for several years and we like to travel. We have a little trailer and where I could bring my own foods and I'm more in control. Used to be when we'd travel, it's like, okay, let's go to the next bakery. We'll have a cup of coffee and some pastry and that'll be nice, but it's not that important. But
Mhm.
what is really different for me, as you mentioned before, my cholesterol is down 23 points.
Mhm.
If nothing else, I mean, I could cry and hug you through the screen, but of course, we're different continents. So my clothes are looser. I'm a better version of myself. I'm 70 years old. How many more summers do I have? I want to be the grandmother I always wanted to my grandchildren. And it was really cute. One of my granddaughters told me, Grandma, you're old, but you're not old.
I'll take that. I'd take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it was. I mean, she was 7 at the time, but and what's different now? The meals are very satisfying. As I said, I never used to eat beans or tofu. Now I cook them daily.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you enjoy them though?
yes,
Because
yes,
people come to me and they're like, "Don't make me eat tofu and beans."
yeah, no, no. That last night I had um, a, a Thai peanut tofu salad, and my husband loves it. He never
Amazing.
thought he would eat tofu, but I added the tofu on my own. Um, yeah, so that's great. Yeah, so it was delicious. I don't crave I don't crave sweets. It's easier to say no, but I still entertain them once in a while. Hey, it's Halloween at our place, so
Mm-hmm.
you know we
What were we
have
talking about yesterday? It's like, yeah, I said to you, yeah, you put cookies on your plan. Like, I'm happy
yes,
for you
yeah,
because
yeah.
that just shows that you have totally shifted in your mindset from, and this is one thing that I wanted to mention as well, is because of the past diets that you've been on, when we were looking at food and nutrition, we were looking like you were telling me or you were showing me that you weren't eating any carbs at all. So
Mhm.
we've gone from this kind of like fear around carbohydrates, around specific macronutrients that we need, to encouraging you to eat more and still losing weight. I think it was like literally the week that you added more carbohydrates to your diet, you dropped 3 pounds.
Yep. Yes.
So it's like I'm so glad that you get to find this food freedom and like this comfortability in being, is that even a word, in being able to eat the foods that you want to, but very moderately and very mindfully.
Right. 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 I have to tell you, I still have those thoughts of my old self. I can't eat
Hmm.
those carbs.
Hmm.
But yesterday I normally eat a protein. Normally have a protein shake in the morning. Yesterday I had oatmeal with berries, and I realized I wasn't hungry all day, and when I started eating the oatmeal, I just ate half the amount that you had recommended. Now I'm eating the full half cup.
Hmm.
It's, so far this week I'm down half a pound, Bianca.
Hmm.
So where I was, so I can eat I can eat more carbs and grains. Love it. Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Amazing. So some huge wins. Like for you, the cholesterol was the biggest thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So were we insulin resistant or pre-diabetes?
I'm pre-diabetic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so I feel that that will come. That actually has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you explained to me why. I don't fully understand it, but
We're
I
definitely
expect,
working on it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
I mentioned to my doctor, I emailed her what I'm doing, and she said, keep on doing what you're doing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we've got the doctor's approval. You're
Mhm.
winning. You've got more energy. You're loving this lifestyle. Please correct me if I'm wrong on any of these. How's like the group community for you going?
That's one of the things I find that are the most helpful. We get together, we can chat. We're on different time zones, so I might be a little behind or a little ahead of some of you, but I get ideas. For instance, yesterday when I had the Thai peanut salad, I was thinking, okay, I can use the dehydrated peanut, but one of your members mentioned, hey, I use the real peanut butter. It doesn't add that much. And I thought, okay, I like that, and it was delicious, and I didn't feel guilty.
Amazing. So getting rid of food guilt as well. Huge
Yeah.
thing. Huge thing.
And then the other group members wins and their struggles. I like to hear them both. I may not interact as much, but I do try, and everybody's so helpful and kind.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for you then it's like just deciding when you want to be fully immersed in the community and when you want to be able to share and celebrate with other people
Yes.
and work through the hard times as well. Work through the difficulties every now and then.
Hmm. Hmm.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay, so I'd love to go over the three things that have been most helpful for you so far. What's the first thing that's made a huge difference for you?
Okay. So you have what is called the magic meal plate, and that gives me a visual of what my plate should look like, which is the grains, the greens, and the colorful vegetables.
Don't give too much away.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding you. I'm kidding.
Okay. But you have fats in there, but healthy
Mm.
fat, and the protein, legumes, um s- and so I have a picture of this taped in my pantry. So when I open it up, so in the past, the vegetables would be 1/4 of my plate. With your magic plate, you have 1/4 greens and 1/4 colorful vegetables. So that's actually half. So that is a big difference.
Hmm.
And I really
Difference
feel
in what? Like what specifically
what
is
my
that?
plate, what my plate looks like.
Mm,
Before I had, maybe more protein. Before meeting you, I'd eat steak or fish, lots of fish and
hmm.
chicken.
Hmm.
But and
Amazing.
that might have been, 3/4 of my plate.
So would you say, just to recap then, would you say that finding the right portions and the right foods for you, for enjoyment, for nutrition, has that been the biggest help for you?
Of course, yes,
Amazing.
absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing.
And
Okay.
it was good. I like eating a delicious meal and everything's been delicious. Mm.
Fantastic. Fantastic. What are your other two tips for us?
So I'm now more mindful of when I'm hungry and when I'm full. I don't have to finish my plate if I feel satisfied.
Hmm.
Growing up, it was eat everything on your plate, then you get dessert, right? So I now mindful of my fullness.
I love that. And how
Mm.
does that feel? Does it feel restrictive still?
No, I'm mindful, it is, I could actually eat until I can't button my pants anymore, but that's not comfortable, right? I'm comfortable that I stop eating and I push my plate away. I might put my paper napkin on my food or save it for lunch the next day.
Hmm.
But I don't feel I can always have it another time.
Hmm.
I'm not missing.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing. And so it doesn't feel like you're missing out.
No. Mm-mm.
I love that. And is that your second and third tip?
Oh, my third tip is so so there are kind of two of them. It's your individual coaching that I get. Never did I have someone look how closely I manage my daily food intake and what I can do to further meet my weight loss goals. I'm not left to my own devices to imagine what I'm supposed to do. I think I'm doing the right thing, and usually I am, but there's some tweaks that you provide and during the group coaching calls that's all part of the individual coaching.
Amazing. I honestly, I didn't wasn't expecting that one to come out. So I'm so grateful for you. And I really appreciate how far you come. I'm not really good at painting a picture of the experience that people were having beforehand. It's just I'm not that great. It's not one of my strengths, but I can just honestly say from our initial consultation call to where you are now, like your energy, your mood, your wins, everything that you're coming to every single day with is just absolutely fantastic. And I do want to just make a note as well, Lorna, is that you will take the information and you'll go, right, okay, got it, let's practice. And I love that. Let's, I'm ready to do this kind of thing. And there's not much pushback. We did figure out why there was some resistance, but we got down to the bottom of it, right?
Mhm.
And I just love the way that you are ready to take any new information and
Yeah.
work with it and make it work for you. Or we can tweak things, we get to tweak things and change things around so it does work for you.
Yeah.
And I love
Which you
that.
do every week for me. Every
Every week. And we were just talking about something before we got in the chat as well, weren't we?
hmm
Tweaking up some things. Amazing. Awesome. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Lorna. I think anyone who has been around the diet industries for a while can probably resonate with trying to find the right things. And while they all were a temporary solution, they haven't worked long term. Now, obviously, we're not in the future.
hmm
So I can't technically say right now that you've got your long-term solution, but does it feel different to anything that you've done before in terms of a quick versus a like a short-term fix versus a long-term fix?
All right. So I feel I can sustain this. I usually have difficulties when I'm hungry. And I know how to manage this hunger now. I know what to have on hand. I feel this is more manageable and it's a real life situation. It's not a bar that I can't buy in the store. It's not the sugar-free desserts that I'm looking for. I'm
Mm,
eating what I want to, And if I want a scoop of peanut butter, I will have that scoop of peanut butter.
Absolutely. I had peanut butter in my oats this morning. It was amazing. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you'd love to really share with us? Maybe anyone who might be struggling or thinking that they're gonna kind of reach out and get some help, but they're on the fence. Is there anything that you'd like to say to them?
So that was me. I was on the fence and I thought, wow, gosh, paying for a weight loss coach, how could I do that, right? But I'm worth it. And lately I've been looking at between now and dead, how do I want to live the rest of my life? I've lived over half. I want to make sure I live the best version of myself. And I feel like I wish I would have found you when I was in my 20s, other than you weren't born yet. But
Maybe, maybe
I
not.
wish, yeah, who knows? But I wish I had something like this in the past because I would have been a lot happier. I was always unhappy with the way I looked. I mean, one thing, you're an expert in this field, and so I feel, take what you say to heart. I'm one that I don't like to say I can't do this. You mentioned that I take the ball and run. I actually don't like it when people say they can't do this because I
We
mean,
found out why though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I and then yeah, you delve into places I didn't think I would go.
I
So
love in
you're
the
my
client.
psychologist too, my psych.
I love in the client chat when when someone's always like, "Oh, Bianca's been digging again. What a wonderful session that was." Everyone's like, "Put your spade away, Bianca."
Right. Right.
Amazing. We will always get down to the root cause of things so we can get over it. And that is definitely what we have been doing week after week after week. So I appreciate you, Lorna. Thank you so much for jumping on this call. Anything else? I know I just asked that though, didn't I? Anything else?
No, I'm glad I found you. Thank you.
I'm glad we found each other. Thank you so much. Just let you know, I'm just going to hang up this and then I'll send you a quick WhatsApp message. So yeah, this all cut straight off. And thank you so much for joining me, guys. Just before we cut off, I just wanted to mention if you are interested, I have just released the details of the next boot camp, which by the way is going to be quite similar to the one that Lorna joined. So you joined through the boot camp, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Mhm.
It was a challenge back then. So it was a 5-day challenge. I'm doing a 5-day boot camp. Yeah, same, but different. And tell me how that boot camp, tell me how that went for you, the challenge for you. Well,
Um,
you're on camera, sorry.
um, yeah, well, I did it, and you gave me the tools, you gave me, the meals, how to play. It was my first experience with lentils and things, so yeah,
Well, you must have enjoyed it because you jumped on for 6 months.
yep, I did.
Amazing. All right. Well, I'm just releasing the details for November's one. Not too sure if I'm going to do one in December, but we'll figure it out. So if you want help with losing weight with a plant-based lifestyle, hit me up, let me know, and message me the word bootcamp. Thank you so much, Lorna. I appreciate you being here. Take care.
All right,
See
bye.
you soon. Bye.